Shut up, Loki. Loki's helping. So, Mammon got booted out. Not only did Mammon get booted out, as I was transferring over here, I had their stuff here. Um, I just took the few things I gave them, which I guess weren't good enough. And, I gave them to Inari-sama. And Inari's very happy because I have all these little, those cute little box plushies, some of which you probably haven't even seen on camera. And I got those, and we have flowers everywhere. And I kind of looked around the house today, and Inari and Loki like the same thing. So, like, there's toys everywhere, and there's cute little things, and all that's what they like with me. They might be, like, very serious in business with you, but with me, there's, like, one, two, three, four foxes right here on my desk, and there's, one, two, three, three foxes there, Loki statue up there, and 5 billion on the fox things. So yeah. They're both very happy though. Inori was sad to see me sad. We're readjusting, but the funny thing was as I was transferring the container over, I kinda had this remembrance, like as soon as I touched the container and I was finishing putting it over. Sometimes I will have like these random glimpses of the future. It's not like I can sit down and do this, so don't ask me lottery numbers or anything. It just comes out of the blue, and I have it. My mom had it too, and we never get it like when we want to. It just randomly comes. And I had had a vision of Inari coming back, something to do with Fushimi Inari and like all this other stuff I've been looking at lately. And something to do with Inari driving off a rival. Inari did not want to be rivals, to make it clear. Mammon is the one that made this a problem. Odin is the one that made it a problem. So conveniently, those two are gone. Inari is a very, kind kami. They aren't going to just lavish presents on you every day. I will tell you that right now. They know I'm kind of looking at stuff on the Steam sale, and they said, well, they don't want to make a promise like, Odin or Mammon would have just said, sure, I'll take you back. They said, maybe you will go back because I've been to the Steam sale a ton of times already. And, they would spoil me rotten if they gave me everything I wanted. They would probably like to with their people, but, we would be spoiled rotten and we would never learn anything. But Mammon had been getting nasty about stuff. And Inari will actually listen to you and know what you need, and you can keep asking them for anything. They're usually pretty tolerant about it, like Loki is. Loki doesn't want to hear it 50 times, but I go, yeah! Usually if you ask Loki once, he has heard you, even if he's pretending he's ignoring you and he mentions something else after, like something totally not related and you think he didn't hear you, he heard you. He's just pretending he didn't hear you. Inari will check up with you every so often, at least in my experience, and be like, well, what do you need? How are you doing? And tell Inari everything. And Susanna will wander back in, and Susanna will like to whip Mammon pretty good. Mammon can be wonderful to work with, but demons are very individualized, and if they really don't like you and your personalities really don't get along together, you're not going to get along, be productive. They had over 6 months with me. It wasn't like they were here for a week and I kicked them out. They had over 6 months with me. So they just never really produced. And Inari and Susanna all will take over that. Asmodeus will take over that. Loki will take over that. Um and they're kind of, they're kind of happy. Asmodeus really doesn't need any other demons around. He really doesn't like them, and Mammon was trying to take over, and usually Asmodeus won't put up with that shit. So it was surprising he was being so tolerant. Um, and he's kind of happy that, Satan and Lucifer are falling into the background. And most of the trolls I get on the site have to be Satan flavored trolls, so he's happy. Anything that makes Satan look bad and puts Asmodeus in a better light. He is ambitious. He's an ambitious demon. He likes to be your top demon. He doesn't care if there's anyone else. And remember, he used to be a god, originally, and he didn't think much of the new pantheon. He still doesn't think much of anybody else. He's very kind and gentle and sweet, though. He's loving with the family, and he's very respectful towards Inari and Loki. As long as nobody's trying to rule him, he's fine. He has his little territory, they have their territory, and they kind of enjoy sharing territory. Remember, Asmodeus also is good in war, and so is Inari, because Inari is the communist soldiers. So they can kind of get along. Yeah, like castles used to have shrines to Inari. Just, if you need a refresher, go to the Wikipedia page. Wikipedia is getting a lot better, I swear. And, they get along and they talk about stuff and they plan little foxy plans together. I know they do, and they say they don't, but they do. But, since we've been talking a lot about Inari, I'm going to tell you from experience, you're not going to get every single thing you want. And that's really important to know because people will either say they're big and terrifying and scary and never work with them. That's one thing you'll read a lot. Because if you're Japanese from Japan and you have had a long history with them, they can get a lot more strict. But if you're an outsider, it's not quite as bad. You can't follow rules you don't know exist. They're not that bad. Or people will make it sound like Inari will give you everything if you go to a shrine and buy a token, or you buy a fortune stick, or you buy, you get stuff shipped from Japan. Remember all this stuff I got shipped from Japan? It doesn't work that way, I didn't get stuff shipped from Japan and Inari gave me, something for every little single thing. They do appreciate stuff, they do treat their people well, but they will have practical things first. They will feed you first, they will get you shelter first. You can ask them for healing, you can ask them to get you to medicine, you can ask them for work and business success and everything else, but they're going to have certain priorities. Keeping you fed is top priority. That I like eating noodles and rice is and drinking tea is just a plus. That's something they can work really well with. But you're not going to get every single thing. It's not that they will fail, like Mammon kept falling down on his face. It's just that they will say, "I will see what I can do with me," is usually the kind of response I get because they're talking again. They were pantomiming for a while, I guess, to show me they were happy. But they will say, they'll see what they can do. Like, they took care of the VR, even though they pretended they weren't interested. They will see what they can do to get me back to the game cell, because I have many games, and they know this, but there's always one more, and they understand that because, remember, they're the commie of businesses, so you're supposed to want to keep spending money. They will take care of you and they will provide for you. But then, what happened last time is I think it felt like it can feel overwhelming, especially as a foreigner, to start studying Japan, which has hundreds and thousands of years of history. We have it in America too, but Americans only go back to, colonization and then we quit. We have a lot of history here. Americans just don't bother studying anything before America was America. But it's all this history, and it's all the forms of the Japanese language, and it's all the forms of the written words, and it feels overwhelming. And just studying Inari alone, just studying one kami alone is like, there's too much to learn. I feel so stupid, and everything's written in Japanese. It can be hard. It can be really hard and overwhelming, and you can feel like you'll never learn anything. I used to be able to speak Japanese decades ago. Our teacher, even though he repeatedly told me how stupid I was, I don't know if all Russian people are like that, but he felt no need to be polite. He would tell me how stupid I was. But he told us by the time we graduated, and we had graduated after taking it for a full year, I'm supposed to be able to read and speak Japanese at a high school level, but I had a stroke, at least one that we know of, and I can't even recognize. I recognize kanji and stuff like that, and I can say, recognize words, and if I keep watching Japanese stuff all day, I'll be like, okay, that's what that word is, and that's what that word is, but I'm never gonna be able to speak it again, like whatever the language centers are in my brain that just got fried. I used to be able to read passable French to the point where I could pick up a paper or read an article and at least kind of understand it. That's fried too. He understands that. If you have a problem with languages and you can't speak it, it's okay. You don't have to end up speaking, fluent Japanese. If you do, that's great because it'll help you do research. But if you don't, it's nothing that makes someone else better or higher in Inari's estimation. Because if that's what they felt, they would just stay in Japan and only talk to a certain percentage of the population. Because, as you study, you'll find out a lot of people in Japan can't read a lot of the words. They're not dumb, it's just it's written so complexly that you can study the language your whole life, even having been born in Japan and not be able to read every single word. It's kind of like English. If we go back just like say 100 years, I would start using all words from like say a century ago. Most of you could follow me, but some people would be like, "What?" I already realize I write in an archaic form of English that no longer exists. I don't know if that's because I'm an English major or it's what I do, but I use an archaic sense of words that's no longer used anymore. I'm like, I'm officially old. They're like, this is archaic. Really? That's how I've used it all my life. Are you saying I'm old? So, Inori is getting themselves settled and they're really happy and the house feels light and uplifted. They might want Aramatsu to come in too, and I'm just really, really nervous because, she's like almost like from what I can understand, yell at me if I'm wrong. She's like almost like considered an ancestress of all Japanese people. At least that's what one video claimed. And so I try to, not do anything that would be really harmful or hurtful, but there are a lot of priestesses that in America of Aramatsu. Now, whether or not they like went to a Shinto temple or they even practice the proper way, I don't know. But a lot of people do get connected to her as well, and there are a lot of other ones. I feel safe. I feel like I'm on safe, common ground with Susanoo and Inari. It's just they feel like everybody works with them and they appear in the anime so much, that it's like, yeah, I don't think anybody's really going to care. And if an American talks about Inari, I really don't think it's like a big taboo thing, even though some Japanese get really mad. Most don't care, and most would be like, well, at least if you care enough to learn about the kami, maybe you'll learn something about Japan too. So, I just figured I would catch you up on that. We're not having Mammon come back in. I'm happy for the people he works with, I really am, but for whatever reason, couldn't work with me. Asmodeus is getting nervous and fluffing out his tail because Asmodeus has to be useful. Asmodeus absolutely has to be useful in your life and have something to do. So Asmodeus is going to figure out something for Asmodeus to do. I feel it coming. It's like they're nervous and their tail is fluffing out. They need to have a role in your life. They need to feel productive and helpful. I don't want them to feel like they have to always do something, and like it's not like they become your servant or something, but they need to be useful. They need to feel useful. It seems to be a demonic trait that if they're not feeling useful, they don't feel like they belong around you. I said, at the very least, they're a good advisor. They always give common sense advice. They feel bad that they kept suggesting I kept trying with Mammon, but it was just Inori's been making it clear they want to have this Inari territory. I mean, like the stove is shaking, stuff like that. Like there was too much going on that it was like Inori trying to get my attention. So, I'm sorry it didn't work out with Melon, but that's okay. Loki is happy because this means more Japanese food, more cute Japanese anime, and more cute Japanese stuff, and we can go shopping more often, maybe. If once Inari gets stuff rolling, they're hoping that we can go out shopping, and it feels good. The house feels lighter. I'm sad. I really do miss Mammon. I miss who too. But unfortunately, those two do not want to get along. They both want to kind of be, overlords, and I don't work well that way. Really, nobody. Loki technically is the leader of the household, but Nobody really likes to step forward and declare themselves the absolute ruler of the house. It's just not their managerial style, for lack of a better word. But we're doing pretty good. It's gonna be a hot one today, so I'm gonna wrap this up. But I hope you guys enjoyed the Fushimi Inari thing yesterday. I finally beat that game. After all the months of having it, I finally beat it. You have to go to these out of the way places to get the things I missed. And once you know where they are, it's so stupid and obvious, but I just didn't know. You then go back and you unlock at Lock Gate and you go through, and then you can walk through Fushimi Inari in the rain. And then it's over. I walked into this one area and it was over. But it doesn't unlock it for the whole time. You have to play that all at once. So you have to go back through every single time, take all the photos, and then go back in and play the rain thing. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I want to play this anymore because it unlocks it only after you do all that work every single time. I'm like, this isn't fun because it doesn't let you save your progress. You can't go in like, oh, I have 15 minutes. I'll go take these 3 photos and then go back in. It's still beautiful, it's fun to walk around, but if you do want to unlock at rain mode, just know that you're going to have to take all 9 photos. Go unlock at gate at the top of the hill and go through, and then you can play rain mode. So, if you guys like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye-bye.